Good evening, everyone. Really great to be together in the room, and welcome to those who are practicing with us through live stream. I hope that you have a good experience and that you've got the equipment that you need and you've created some nice sacred space for yourself. Here, those of you who are in the room might notice if you look around that there's a new art display. And maybe Conley, can you just say a little something about the art on the walls?
Yes, this is a local woman named Gina Croce. She's actually this person in this portrait right here. It's with birds and a hat and the beautiful sundress. That's Gina. These are all watercolors. They look like photographs, but they're her watercolors, and she's just hyper realistic. And she's doing an opening this Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, 4 to 7. You can come meet her. She's hired an amazing acoustic guitarist, and there will be wine and cheese, and you can meet her and hear more about her journey, which is really incredible.
All right. Great. Thank you. Does everyone have, looks like everyone has a bolster, 2 blocks, and a strap, and a blanket if you happen to bring one. Everyone's got that? All right, good. The bolster, there's an extra one right there. Yeah, they live downstairs. That room downstairs where they live, it will be getting a makeover soon, so it won't feel so much like you're climbing into the basement of the building. But for now, that's where they live. That's where they get returned to after class. So let's find a seat that's comfortable, and if right now in this moment sitting is not comfortable, you can just lay down on your back. But otherwise, we're going to slow things down. That was the phrase that came to me today, was slow down, and what do you notice blossoming within? So please slide your eyes closed. Let your attention just rest lightly on your breath. Remember, this is gentle yoga. It's no big deal. The movements are simple. And you're really going to just move your body gently and infuse your minutes on the mat with mindfulness and breath and some grace, some ease, some awareness. And so as you kind of breathe your way into stillness, just notice what blossoms. And it could be the list of things that you didn't get to today, or it could be this, I'm here, and this is my oasis. This is my nest where I get to be for a bit of time. It's all good. This is a judgment-free zone, especially in the way that you think about yourself. And just observe your energy just starting to settle. And let's stay with this gentle attention to the breath, and eyes can be open or closed at this point. And we'll take the left hand over the heart, this first hand just to gesture an acknowledgement that you're here for your own well-being. Maybe you have come with an intention or your own prayer. You could silently bring that to the surface at this time. And please add your right hand onto your left, reminding us that we are part of a greater whole. And when we settle into that space of peace and kindness, it tends to ripple out. So our yoga affects others. Our mindfulness, our meditation, our practice in general matters. And here's a prayer I wrote for us for this evening. Force of love that holds us when we're not even looking. Spirit of gratitude, whose presence keeps our heart tender. Grace of the ages, please remind us of our innate goodness. We invite you to make your welcoming presence known in this practice, both the moments of movement and the moments of stillness, the moments of thought and the moments of rest. When we doubt or question or wonder, please grant us the gift of curiosity. And we tenderly receive the invitation to be kind and generous toward ourselves and toward all. And on this healing path of love, may the blossoming of sacred awareness be our companion. May it be so. Let's gently take the hands off the heart, put your palms right out in front of you, just offering out your best to your practice tonight. Then bring your hands to the sides of you and place your palms out. And you can bless those who are practicing in the room here with you, and those at home, you can just bless your space. So turn gently to the right with me, and from your hands, you're going to shower out blessing to those that you see in the space that you're in, that we're enjoying together. And slowly through the center, imagine right from your heart out through your hands, as you gently turn to the left, you're sending blessings out. Nice and easy. Come right back to the center and let your palms rest comfortably down. Relax into your breath. And as you sit, you could think about lifting from your sternum, the breastbone. So just a nice light lift there, and let the rest of the body relax a bit. Well, Greg's going to lead us in some breath meditation, and if it would be good for you to reverse across your legs now and kind of reset your seat, feel free to do that.
And for your mindfulness minute, I'm going to focus on the top and the bottom of the breath. Normally I encourage you to breathe slowly, taking about 7 seconds to breathe in and breathe out, but it's just as valuable to pause with a full set of lungs for a moment, and then when you exhale, take your time and then pause before you inhale again. And so we'll just do that practice a little bit, just breathing and sort of following it up and down, and then we'll bring some hand movements in like we normally do. So starting out slowly inhaling, and get to the top, just hold. You can seal off with your throat if you need to, almost like you're just holding your breath, full lungs, and then just exhale all the way out, completely empty. Just taking a moment, and then inhale. Full lungs, pause, and exhale. Pause. About 3 or 4 seconds at the bottom and top. Inhale. And exhale. And bring your hand movements into it. Tracing the movement of air into our lungs. Inhale. This just gives us something to focus on with a full breath. So we trace our hands up, allowing us to hold that breath at the top, and then exhale. Nice and slow, pausing at the bottom. And then repeating. Inhale. And you get a full breath right about here, and then you hold it. And exhale. Inhale. Full breath. Sip it, hold it in. And exhale. Letting everything go at the bottom. Inhale. Full breath. And exhale. Just sit with your hands on your knees for a moment. Keep the slow inhale and exhale, but just bring a silence this time. No movement, just a long inhale, stopping at the top, and then an exhale, long exhale, stopping at the bottom. That's a 4-part breath. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Inhale. And exhale. The little pauses create subconscious spaciousness. They create a space where you give pause to what you're taking in, and you can process it a little differently. You can, instead of reacting to something that you're hearing or you're seeing, you can think more mindfully about it. That microsecond, 10 microseconds of time for your mind to process it is just enough for you to be thoughtful in your response versus reactive, and sometimes can be the difference between breaking an argument with a family member or a friend, or responding in a gentle, kind way. And it all starts with the breath.
Thank you. All right. Please switch the fold of your legs and take your right hand behind you on the back of the bolster, your left hand over onto your right knee, and let's take a gentle twist to the right. And slow, deep breaths in and out. And then you're going to just take whatever you'd like from that practice that Greg just led us through, and integrate it the way that you'd like into your yoga this evening, into your postures. And if pausing with the breath, holding the breath seems new to you, that's quite all right. And if you're willing to just kind of play with something new, there you go. Last moment here. Remember that cue to lift from your sternum whenever we're sitting upright, and see if that's a little bit helpful for you. Again, and let's wrap our way around the other way. The left hand comes back, the right hand comes over to the left knee. Continuing to release our lower body, and now maybe it's a little more intentional, pressing down into your seat, growing the spine longer, exhaling out deeply. Nice. And 2 more breaths right there. Just full and deep. Remember, it's nasal breathing, so that just helps stimulate the relaxation response as well. Good. And making our way right back to the center. We're going to come off the bolster. Going to shift it onto the floor, off to your right. Come back to that later. Your block somewhere forward is a great idea. And we're going to meet up in tabletop on the hands and knees. So please take the time to pad your knees with a blanket. Kind of set your hands and print your hands right down onto your yoga mat. And if you've got tender wrists, or it just seems wise to you not to be on your palms too much tonight, come on to the blocks. You can put your elbows on the blocks, and that way your wrists are just kind of free, or sometimes people like to loosely thread the fingers together. And we're going to start to move our way just through cat and cow, slow moving meditation. Nice long exhale as you round, the chin draws in. And that nice inhale as the hips lift, heart lifts, press into the palms or to your elbows, and then just find that flow. Really encourage you to kind of do your own thing on your mat, so you don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing, and nor do you have to wait for my instructions to begin a movement or a pose if you kind of know where it's going. And this would be a time to kind of try on that extended inhale and exhale with a little retention or pause as Greg described it. It's almost like you're kind of just continuing to stretch the bandwidth of the breath when you engage with that pause. And really a lot can change in a moment of pausing and stopping, that's for sure. And what do you notice when you lift up and you've got that chance to open your front body? And then what do you notice when you round and tuck and you get a chance to open the back body? And as you continue on with this, keep it nice and simple. And the longer you're spending on your mat, the more you can open up your senses. You could listen, right, to the music. You can listen to the sound of your breath. Maybe you can listen to your neighbor breathing. It reminds you to stay connected to your own breath. You can notice the temperature of the air as it passes into your body, the temperature of your yoga mat underneath your hands. Nice. A few more rounds, simple cat and cow. Good. Nice. And then please come back into a flat back and send your left toes behind you. Again, at any point that your wrists get cranky, put your elbows in the blocks, curl your left toes under, and push the ball of your left foot directly down into the mat. Press your left heel back. Lengthen along the inseam of the left leg as well as the outer seam of the left leg. And if you draw your chin slightly in and pull your torso up away from the mat a little bit, you might feel that you could pull your shoulders down away from your ears and just pause right here. Good. Stretch through the calf, a chance to start to bring the core online with a gentle hugging in of the core in general. And then lifting up with the left heel, shift your vision right down to your thumbs and just see if you could stretch your right fingertips forward. And there's a continual lengthening of the overall body, pressing back through the left heel and forward through the right hand. Remember, you can just shift into child's pose for a nice little stretch whenever you want. Or if you want to, with me here, you can point your left toes, bend your right elbow, and round and tuck. Bring the elbow and the knee close to one another, and then lengthen back out. And just kind of follow your body's lead here. Sometimes the body calls for more, and we do that, and other times it calls for less. And we listen then also. Good. So you've still got that cat and cow movement going through the spine. A chance to bring in a little coordination, maybe a little wobbly. Good. And the next time you lengthen out, just pause right there. Good. And then we're going to drop the right hand down, curl the left toes under, and I'd like you to pick your right foot up off the mat, swivel it and swing it all the way around so the top of your right foot is on the floor. And we're going to roll into the right hand. I like to take a block and put it underneath the right hand. So we're coming into a side plank. So it's a strengthener, but it's going to become a side opener in a moment. So first of all, lengthen out everywhere that you can. You want to feel that there is a long line, top of the head to the left toes, and from your right palm to your left palm. And let's circle or just a little wiggle through the left hand. Just decompress your left wrist. Keep that lengthening going and pull your right outer ribs up away from the ground a bit. And circle with me the left arm, tracing the left fingertips as the largest circle shape that you can. Make sure that your face is soft. Your facial muscles are relaxed. There's no tension in your jaw. You're not squeezing your teeth together. And we're going to end up with this shape bring us into a side bend. So the left foot still stays down, grounded at the back of your mat, but now your left fingertips might reach toward the front of the room. And if it's comfortable, you could let your right ear soften toward your right shoulder. And stay here for a few breaths. Some of you might like to play with turning your chest up a notch toward the sky, kind of pulsing a little bit there, experimenting, reaching into that side bend. There could be a few in the room who want to be invited to lift the left leg up and take a bind left hand to the left foot. So it's not for everybody, but maybe a few. And we're staying in the breath, staying calm, stretching the body out, getting a little stronger. And then we're all going to make our way out of the pose wherever you have found yourself. Turn back down toward the ground. You can slip that block back over to the right. And then yogi's choice, either child's pose or if you feel like it, come into a downward facing dog. Give yourself 10 breaths to either rest or move. Explore your downward facing dog. If you typically have a stronger practice, you could certainly come through to a plank pose and find your way to the ground and back up. So I want you to just move in a way that feels wise. And you can hold space for what your neighbor is doing, but don't let that influence what you do, even if you're here with your spouse. Nice deep breaths. I want you to enjoy every breath, every moment. Try not to just be waiting for the next instruction. Really invest yourself in each moment. When you feel like it, when you're ready, come back to table. You can come onto the blocks on your elbows if your wrists are cranky. Otherwise, right leg goes back, curl the right toes under, plant the ball of the right foot very firmly. The right leg is straight. And as you look down, I find that my gaze is landing on my left knee or even back toward my right foot. Press back through the right heel. Consider if you could lengthen the inseam of the right leg as well as the outer seam of the right leg. Do so. Press into your palms and pull your body up a little bit away from the floor. And then lift your right heel up to the height of your hip. You're going to bring your gaze slightly forward at this time, then point your right toes. Nice. And then let's send the left fingertips forward. A spinal balance here. Think about from the navel, forward out through the hand is a long line, extending, strengthening, and from the navel back to the right foot. Same thing. And some of you will hold, some of you will take a break, or some of you will bring it underneath for a crunch, elbow to knee. And on the inhale, usually feels good to look a little bit forward, extend your body, and on that exhale, round and tuck and bring it in. So let's find a pace that matches your breath. Good. And twice more. Good. And we're going to drop the ball of the right foot back down. The left hand comes to the mat. Lift up your left foot, pivot out to the side. Left toes are on the wood floor. Now you want to block for your left hand. Then start to turn your body open. Right hand comes up. And first it's all about length and alignment, right? You've got that left wrist directly under your left armpit, straight up through the top hand. Good. And then press down with your right big toe into the mat. Give a little circle or a little shake for your right wrist. Good. And keep as much length and extension to the whole body as you bring it over into more of a side bend, a lateral stretch with the right fingertips facing directly from the top of your head forward. If you liked to play a little bit like you did on the other side. Perhaps rotate your chest slightly up toward the ceiling, even just for a little bit, once or twice. And then if you'd like, circle your right arm slowly but fully, largest revolutions that you can. Good. Nice. And some of you will go back up to holding your right hand up. Some of you will lift the right leg up, bend the right knee, reach your hand back, and maybe grab the right foot or the pant hem. Kind of open on up here. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. And release. Turn yourself back to face the mat. Block goes to the side. And again, yogi's choice. Take a rest. Take downward facing dog. So movement or stillness, whatever feels best for you. If you tend to get tight through the neck or just the effort of a yoga pose makes any part of your body tight, loosen that up right now. Good. Come back to that deep breathing, noticing top of the breath, bottom of the breath. Good. Nice. And then from here, we're all going to be dropping onto the knees. We're in table. And the right foot, step it forward. Put it right where your right hand just was. The left hand, bring the block in, put it on the mat, let it be, and come on up and stack your hands on the right knee. So take a moment. If this is aggravating or it hurts your left knee, tuck a blanket under the left knee, or if you didn't happen to bring a blanket, quick fix, fold the side of your mat in and you'll have a double padding. So, let's drop the hips slowly. Press your pelvis forward down toward your right heel and go in little increments so that you can keep a sense of being grounded through the feet and a solid through the legs, and starting to create an opening front of the left hip. Nice. The shoulders can stay soft, but think of lifting from the sternum, from the breastbone, just slightly up. Good. And your vision might be 8 feet, 6 feet out in front of you, and find a gaze point where you can just hold steady gaze, one spot. And if you'd like, take the arms up. Good. Initially, get your arms in place so there's kind of a nice wide, gentle V. Pay attention to your fingers. There's space between the fingers. And we're all wobbling a little side to side. Our body is actually getting stronger as we do so. There's no problem with the wobbling at all. And if you feel like it, bring your hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers. Cup the back of your skull. Lean back a tiny bit if your body lets you do that. Really keep your awareness in that front foot. A little bit of a back bend. Good. Long breath out. Let your hands kind of fade down to the side. Look down and put your left palm on the block. Remember, there's the lowest setting, medium setting. I think high might be too wobbly, but maybe medium's better. We're going in for a twist. And the right hand stays on the knee. And it's just slow and steady. And by having the hand on the block, it just gives you a little bit more room for the torso to rotate around. Go bit by bit. Maybe you can stretch that distance from your left knee to the top of your head a little bit more. Maybe you drop the hips down just slightly toward your right heel. Maybe your body is responding in a way that it wants more engagement, in which case you can curl the left toes under, straighten your left leg. Keep on rotating in the twist. Kind of just find your way with it. If you're here to have a really super gentle experience, definitely keep the knee down. You can also lift the right hand up, or if you feel like it, you can hook your left elbow outside your right knee, hands in prayer, at the heart, and you just create a little twist like that. It's nice to have options, isn't it? Nice deep breath. Those deep breaths are a little spring cleaning. Get rid of the heaviness. And we'll drop the back knee if we lifted it. We're going to come on out of the twist, block to the side, and nice and easy, send that right foot back, rest, or match one foot with the other and come into downward facing dog. So listening to the body. If you want to follow me in a few rounds of a very gentle flow, you're welcome to by dropping the knees. Bring your shoulders forward over your hands, look forward, and then lower down. It's kind of a soft descent all the way down. You can tap your forehead if you want. Press into your fingertips, lift your chest. Breathe it back, hips toward the heels, remaining in child's pose or curling the toes under and returning to downward facing dog. If that felt good, you can do it with me twice more, or you can just be resting or holding still in the pose of your choice. So knees come down, shoulders come forward over the hands, the gaze is forward. We slowly melt the body down. Feel your forehead touch. Inhale, lift the heart. Breathe out, hips toward the heels, down dog if you'd like. Kind of like a wordless prayer, just moving the body. And one more time if you'd like, knees down, shoulders over the hands, slow melt to the earth, forehead to the mat, inhaling up. And we're all going to meet in child's pose with the knees wide if you'd like, big toes pointing in. It might be nice to settle your hips first, then drop to your elbows. Some of you will pivot your hands in, make a little pillow out of stacking your hands, rest your forehead there, and that's going to be really nice. Just really do release the groin toward the feet, release your torso toward the ground. And if you start to feel the chest open, then you can lengthen out your arms, kind of splay your hands out. And going in little stages, little steps into even the simplest pose breeds that mindfulness. Find your way to be still. Feel the breath blossom, feel the breath open up. Even just feel your whole being shed a layer of tension, a layer of effort. Let there be softness any place that it's permitted, including the interior of the mouth, the eyes, throat and shoulders. Good. And stay as long as you want. When you're ready, we're coming back to table and stepping left foot forward to where the left hand just was. Good. Block comes in on the right side. You take your time. You're coming up on hand stack on the left knee. Pad your right knee if you want to, need to. Good. The further forward you have the left foot, obviously the more of a stretch you're going to get on the front of the right hip. Only thing to bear in mind is keep the knee over the ankle. So if you scooch the foot forward, the knee's got to come forward also. And then just settle slowly and steadily. Good. Press into your feet. If you feel like it, take your arms up. Give a little bit bigger reach. On this side, if you want to take the hand position of a bind, palm to palm interlace your fingers, you can try that. Good. Stay pressing into the feet, hugging outer hips in, legs strong in this moment, chest wide. If you walk your gaze slowly up, you might be in for a little back bend. Good. Nice long breath out. And then your hands will unthread. Right palm comes straight down to the block and it's under the right shoulder. Left hand on the left knee. And then it takes 5 breaths or so to bring yourself around into the twist. There's as much length as you can manage from the right kneecap to the top of the head. Some stay right here, just with every exhale, exploring the twist a little further. Some bodies who want more will curl the right toes under, press back through your right heel, stabilize, but keep the rotation going. The twist is an important part of this. Some of you will take the left hand up and maybe circle, release the wrist perhaps, or do anything you want with your left arm. And maybe there's a few who will bring the right elbow to hook outside the left knee, hands in prayer. And we're still all lengthening from the tailbone to the top of the head, rotating. Strong breath out. Ha. Nice exhale with a little sound once in a while is just fine. Actually encouraged. Good job. When you're ready, please drop your back knee. Come out of the twist, look down, scoot your block out. And up to you how you get that left foot back, and whatever happens next is also up to you. Either rest or find your downward facing dog, or if you want to do any kind of a flow as I guided you before, you can do so. We are going to meet up belly down, but there's no rush to get there. If you're upside down in down dog, great time. Just give your head a little shake. Let your neck loosen up. Yeah. When you do find your way onto your belly, let's stack the hands. Good. And instead of resting the forehead down initially, just lift your head slightly off your hands. You can look at the front edge of your mat. And then I'd like you to wiggle your hips a little bit and stretch your feet back, further back, so you feel like you've just got more square inches of your body touching the floor. And then for Sphinx pose, you could either skip it and put your head down because it just doesn't serve your body. Not every pose is really great for everybody. Others of you could crisscross your forearms, have your elbows still in front of you, and let your chest drop. And that might do it for you. Others that want classic Sphinx pose, we're up on the elbows, palms are down, and you can let your pelvis descend, let your low belly descend. And by letting those lower portions drop, there's naturally a remaining lift in the chest. Good. Bring your mind's eye to the space between your shoulder blades and pull your shoulder blades lightly toward each other and down toward your tailbone. Good. Don't try too hard, but there is a sustained engagement here, pressing into the forearms, pulling the elbows gently back. If it bothers your neck, soften your chin down. If you think a little shifting would feel good, move your upper body left and right, but the point is to keep lengthening the whole body. Gently drawing the elbows back continually, like you're trying to get your chest a little further forward. Nice. And then some of you will have had enough. Take your elbows wide, put your left cheek down. That's good. Others of you that want more, come into Cobra with me. Slide your hands back so your thumbs are in line with your chest and your pinky fingers are at the outer edge of your mat. Widen your feet out a little bit, and we'll just come in and out and experiment with just flexing the spine a little bit. So I like to breathe out when I'm coming down. breathe into the openness that you're creating on the lift. So just be natural with that. You could play with pulling the elbows in just a tad, just see if it feels good. If it doesn't, don't do it. Good. There's a light press into the tops of your feet so you kind of keep the body long. Good. Nice. And whenever you feel done, come on down. We're all going to stack the hands. Put the right cheek down, the right side of the forehead, bend at the knees. Bring your awareness to your feet and swish your feet side to side. Just kind of let your mind get lost in that rocking. At some point you're going to be lifting the head up, turning it the other way, left side of the forehead down, maybe a few more rocks here. Allow the rocking to loosen up your low back and just kind of feel good through the hips. And bring your feet very still. Lower your left foot down all the way down until you feel all 5 toes of the left foot rest on the ground. And allow the right foot to do the same. And total relaxation here. Let go completely. Notice the length of your legs. And just the weight of the body softening to the earth. And the length of every breath in, every breath out. Last couple of breaths here. And please slide your hands alongside your body. Press into the palms so you can peel the body up. Bring your hips back. And as you step your knees forward, draw your knees to the right so you can set your hips down on your mat. And just face toward the front. This would be a great time to bring your blanket on. So we're going to do just some nice stretches for the hips, and sometimes lifting up just enough. Just the blanket sometimes offers us enough lift. And we're going to come into a straddle first. So legs are going to come out wide. And if your bolster is calling to you, you can use that in this pose. I think it's pretty nice to support the backs of the knees with the blocks. And then if you do want to play with the bolster, so we're heading into a fold. It's going to look something like this for some of us. But first, walk your heels out wide. And if straddles are hard for you, there's a combination of factors that could be in play, including your genetics, and there's nothing you can do about that. So just enjoy whatever straddle you can do. And you can take the padding of the buttocks and pull it back behind you, a little rock side to side. And if you are using the bolster, the hands are, placed on it. If you're not doing that, your hands might be down. But we're all going to be slowly and steadily walking our torso forward any amount and supporting ourselves with the hands if possible. So maybe your hands are on the mat. You like that. If you're on the bolster, some of you will have your hands here, elbows maybe for some, maybe forehead. On an occasion, I've seen people take the bolster like this and rest the forehead here, and they kind of like that. So you'll be there for at least a minute or so. So play around, see what feels good. Just let yourself be curious. And then just observe, notice gently. Play with that idea of softening different parts of the body. You can just soften your forehead and your face, and that's got a dimension to it. You could soften your shoulders and see what that does to the stretch. You soften your belly and see if the breath feels like it descends and drops down even a little deeper. And of course, you could kind of soften through the legs. What happens if you relax the inner groin, relax your quadriceps, your hamstrings a bit, and just keep the progressive leaning forward going, no forcing. This is where you encounter what you would consider a limitation. Really just hold space for that. Be okay with that. Notice the tendency to run ahead, wondering when it's over or what comes next, and just rewind, come right back to exactly what you're feeling right now. The way that you're tending to your body, not only with the stretch, but the way that you're thinking about your body. Last 3 breaths here. Any point that you feel kind of the tension rising up along with those deep inhalations, make sure you give a strong exhale. Let out whatever's bubbling up to the surface. Good. Nice. And when you're ready, a slow coming out of this would be really a good idea. Nice and slow and easy. Good. And at this point, you could take that bolster if you want and just move it all the way forward, just off your mat. I'm moving mine to the side because I want you to see me, but you can just slide yours forward. And then please bring your feet around in front of you. Lean back on your palms and just give a little windshield wiper, just something really relaxing and easy so you can soak in benefits of that stretch. Also a chance to keep the chest open wide and your shoulders kind of pulled down away from your ears a bit. All right, and so from right where you are here, if you're on a block, you could probably come off the block. I think you wouldn't be comfortable for the next part. But we're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee. Good. And then we can continue to rock a little bit side to side, feeling down into the left hip. Chance to strengthen through your arms if you really wanted to push into your hands. I've got my fingers pointing forward, but you could certainly have the fingers pointing back if you want. Yeah, and play around. See if it feels good to dip over one side then the next. Good. And then we're going to unhook the ankle, come on up, take the bent left leg with the sole of the foot directly as it is, and lengthen out your right leg. We're prepping for a forward fold. I like to have the block supporting the outer left knee lightly. And again, if you've got the tight hamstrings or you just want to be really supportive to your body tonight, put the block behind your right knee also. And we're going to ease ourselves forward slow and steady. There is a strap that you grabbed, so if you wanted to, and you promise not to pull and tug and hurt yourself, you can put the strap around the ball of your right foot. Some people find that helpful. But it's also a slow progress pose, and we stay there for a bit, so don't rush and tug and get carried away. This is called nose to knee pose. It's been a rare occasion where I could ever put my nose on my knee, but that's what they call it, nose to knee. Support yourself with your hands, especially if you've got any degeneration of the spine whatsoever. Great idea to support yourself with your hands, whether they're on the mat or your hands are connecting with your right calf or ankle. Kind of ride those waves of the exhale down a little bit deeper. Feel free to rearrange how you have bent your left leg if you need to modify a little bit. On occasion, I find people that like to make this into a mini twist by taking the left hand and wrapping it outside the right ankle or outside the right foot, and then walking the right fingertips back behind them, and then kind of resting or pointing the left cheekbone down toward the right knee. That's something you could play with just if you want to. Long exhale might help you drop in. Relax through the left hip, left thigh bone. Keep feeding your body that oxygen, that prana, that chi. So your yoga gives you more energy than it takes. 3 more breaths where you are. When it's time to come out, it's important that you come out slowly and gently, so I like to push my hands into the mat and walk my hands back toward the body to rise. So see if that feels good. Take your left hand and bring your left knee up. If you put a block behind the right leg, you can slide that out. And so we're going to interlace the fingers front side of the left knee and root the lower body down. Lift from the sternum just slightly up. And just stay here for a few moments. So you're strengthening through the core without being extreme. Sensing that your spine is long, that you're rooted into your 2 sitting bones, and from there you're rising. Yes. And if you want to join me in making it into a little twist, right palm, forearm, or elbow can hook on the front of the left knee, and then wrap your left hand behind you, palm or fingertips straight down into the floor, an inch or 2 behind your tailbone, and wrap around into a nice deep twist. On the in-breath, let there be enough space so your belly can fill. And then the out-breath, little squeeze, and you can hug the abdomen in a little bit on the exhale if you want to. Make sure that you don't get rigid with the way that you're holding your head. Don't cause your neck to be stiff. Stay soft in the neck. And then when we come out of the pose, turning back, I'm going to give you a couple of options. You can either come back to here and take it down onto your back. So if you're going to do that, blanket can come out. I think you're all pretty familiar with what this looks like. But there might be some in the room that want to take classic pigeon instead. So if you want to take pigeon and you know your body likes it, left heel comes in, right leg goes behind you. I'm certain it's not good for everyone in the room. So which one do you want to demo? Greg, you want to demo pigeon?
I'll do the opposite.
Okay. I'll be in pigeon. He'll be in figure 4 on his back. So pigeon pose, if you've never done it before but you want to try. Left knee is very close to the left wrist. And when you look down, your left ankle is about underneath your belly button. And then your right leg is long behind you. You can even walk your right knee further back and then relax your back foot. Take your elbows forward and out. Stack your hands and rest your forehead down. And there's a lot of pull, a lot of tension, a lot of stretching going on. As long as your left knee doesn't hurt with a shooting pain, then you're probably okay to stay. If left knee not happy, come onto your back and cross your left ankle over your right knee. Good. So we got kind of a 50-50 split. That's nice. So wherever you are, if you're in classic pigeon, you're going to stay there for a bit of time. So the melting, sinking, descending quality is what we're cultivating in pigeon. And if you're on your back, you can stay with that simple ankle crossed over the knee, rock your lower body side to side, or you can bring your right thigh in, interlace your fingers behind the right thigh, hug it in. You get a deeper stretch for left hip that way. And if you're on your back, you could then progress into reclining pigeon like Greg is doing. You can take your right hand, grab the sole of your left foot, left hand threads through and hugs the shin in, and you're in pigeon on your back. Did you want to try either of those? Okay. If this hand grabs here, this hand, put it between your legs and turn it so you can hold it. And then flex your ankle a little bit. And then you're going to hold this in and straighten this leg down to the ground. And that you just kind of work with that. But that's, you got it. Nice. Love to see you each doing what suits you in the moment. Good. Long deep breaths. Nice. If you're in classic pigeon, you can shift your way back to a downward facing dog. If you're on your back, please just unwind your legs and take a full long body stretch. So 5 breaths, whether you're on your back and stretching long, or you're in down dog and you're just pedaling out your heels, whatever you're doing, take a bit of time. Enjoy what you're doing. Don't think about the next thing yet. Good. And then, good. When you're ready, you're going to come back up to a seat, and we'll do that little sequence on the other side, and then we're going to head towards Shavasana. Right, so we're back to seated. And if I'm not mistaken, we're crossing the right ankle over the left. Does that seem right? Good. All right. And turn your palms whichever way, is best for your wrists. And rock side to side. Just doing this in order to warm up the right hip, kind of get it ready for that sequence on this side. And it feels good. You come all the way over. Nice. And then just kind of slow that down, sit yourself up, and we're going to be lengthening out the left leg. Good time to come back to blanket under the hips. If you care to assemble your blocks, one behind the left leg if you want, other one right outside the right knee. Patting the buttocks back a little bit. Don't rush, just sit yourself nice and tall. Good. And we're going to start to head forward. So you can walk your hands and just bit by bit by bit, make those little adjustments as you go. Good. Invite the body to relax. If you'd like to use the strap, you can put it on the ball of the left foot. Some of you might want to connect the hands to the left calf, ankle, or foot. And if you want to incorporate that little bit of a rotation, then you can take your right hand, wrap it around the outside of the left ankle or outside of the left foot. Soften your right cheekbone toward your left knee and walk your left fingertips further behind you, and then let your left palm settle, because we're going to stay holding, breathing, allowing the stretch to really deepen. Invite you to, at some point, let out a nice long exhale, even with a sigh or a little vocal vibration. Okay, relaxing and stretching. Seeing what happens when you let go and soften different parts of the body in the pose. Three more breaths here. Just say yes to the stretch. When you're ready to come out, remember it's mindfully done, pressing into your hands, walking the body up, so no strain. And your torso is back to vertical. You're going to bring the right knee up, set your right foot flat down, interlace your fingers, front of the right knee, push into your hips, lift from the sternum, just nice and elongated without strain. Okay. Nice steady breath. And if you want to twist, left palm, forearm or elbow hooks, right hand wraps around behind you. Right behind your tailbone, down on your yoga mat, that's where your right hand is, whether it's palm or fingertips. Last really deep twist of the evening. Feel something release, feel something let go. When you rotate back to the front, little pause here. You can cross your right ankle over your left knee if you want. Drop yourself onto your back. If you're going to take reclining, you can follow Greg's lead. If you're going to come into full pigeon on the right side, don't think you need the blanket. You're going to tuck that right heel in. Send your left leg behind you. Start on your palms. Good. Take your right kneecap and bring it close to your right wrist. Walk your left foot back. Your hips are level. Forward and wide with the elbows. Stack the hands. And the forehead rests. Maybe a few micro movements here, and then you just stay. The intensity of the stretch becomes your meditation. Good. And those on your back, you can ease your way into reclining pigeon if you first just want to stay with the ankle crossed over. Nice little rocking of the legs side to side. Others of you will thread the hands through and reach behind the left thigh. Hold. And then others who are coming into reclining pigeon, left hand grabs the sole of the right foot, and that right hand scooping around, so you're isolating the right shin in, lengthen your left leg long, and drop it down. Nice. So wherever you are, you're staying with the breath. Nice. Feel the effects of the deep breaths. And if you're curious, come back to the starting breath lesson about retaining, holding at the top of the in-breath even just for a second, and exhaling. Keep the lungs empty for a second. And kind of travel between those poles, between those edges. Nice. 3 more breaths. If you're on your back, you're going to head into a long body stretch. If you're in classic pigeon, you're going to shift your way back into a downward facing dog to create length in the back of the legs and some openness through the back of the knees. And if you're in down dog, spend enough time there so you can really feel the effects of your yoga so far. If you're on your back and you're lengthening out, just feel the body as one just nice shimmering field of energy. Nice. And then we're going to head into a little bit of yogi's choice time, a little bit of kind of free play on your mat. So some of you will know what to do with that invitation, others of you might not. So if you need some guidance, you might want to use your bolster and come back onto your back. I'm going to go sideways just to give you a little view, but we have maybe 3 or 4 minutes to play around before I start you into Shavasana. So one option would be to just come on back like this and take it easy. Kind of a passive stretch for the chest, a chance to really feel supported, but there's still a stretch happening. So if the bolster is not a great answer for you, then you could do something different on your back. And looking around, everyone's doing something different. I love that. I don't know what you all are doing at home, but I hope it's something that feels good and feels right. Good. Good. Nice. And take your time, whatever movement or posture is kind of presenting itself to you. Just go with it. Just remaining gentle in your tone. Remember, the contemplative question of the evening is slow down and what do you notice blossoming within? What kind of awareness blossoms within? If you're at the back of the class and you would prefer not to have one of those lights close to your head, you can feel free to turn them off. So starting to make your preparations for relaxation. Bless you. You can use that bolster behind your knees if you want to help your low back feel lengthened and supported by the ground. Some of you prefer to keep it under your spine. If you're practicing at home and there's a couch close by, you can do your Shavasana on the couch. I think I probably would. And getting ready and preparing yourself for Shavasana is a really important part of the practice because it's self-care and it's a way of arranging your body with care and comfort. So maybe there's socks involved. Maybe there's a blanket. And the invitation is really to relax and let go. I'm going to read you a few affirmations that just want them to wash over you like little sweet waves. And then Greg will give us some healing sounds through the bowls. Then there'll be a minute or two of just quiet silence. And then when Shavasana is over, you'll hear this bell. So keep on letting go. This is the final ultimate letting go. I can trust my inner guidance. As I rest, I can trust my inner voice. Inside is my calm, sacred center of being. In the stillness, true beauty blossoms. I'm exactly where I need to be at this time. I have all the support I need to grow and thrive. I'm safe. I'm whole. I'm held. I am free. And at the center of my being, all is well. Invite you to deepen your breath. Kind of feel your overall vibration, kind of hum of energy. And in the deepening of the breath, do pay attention to what has shifted for you in your mind state, emotional state, spiritual state, physical state. And then slow and steady, you can start to integrate the movement, oftentimes starting just with the digits, with the fingers and the toes feels good. Kind of moving into circling the wrists and the ankles. And finding some kind of length or extension or reach out through the arms and the legs. Noticing how open and limber your body feels. And then drawing the knees in for a gentle hug. And feel the low back meet the mat. And then rock yourself over, onto your side. And take a nice little pause there. Kind of like let your mind float to what you are grateful for. And count your blessings. Or send out a thank you to the universe for the time that you've had. And then walk yourself up to a seat. And find a seat that I guess feels dignified. where you're really embodying this moment. Allow your knees to rest open to whatever degree they will. Feel that you're balanced on your sitting bones, that you've got some kind of length and breadth across the front of your torso. That your head has found a balanced place to rest. You're not leaning forward or back or side to side. And your palms just naturally fall somewhere on your legs or your knees. And just sit still for a few moments. Not searching for anything, kind of just letting yourself be found. And then together, let's take the hands over the heart. Feel both hands stack in this true reverence for the heart, our deepest self, and letting the head bow forward. And blessing yourself. Yes, and then we'll lift the hands off the heart. Take your arms out to the side and just fan your palms out for a moment. Send some blessing out to those who are in the room or wherever across time and space you feel called to send some loving, kind energy. And then a bigger reach all the way out. Good. So inhale as we bring the palms overhead and feel the hands touch. Long, slow exhalation. Bring your thumbs right back to the heart. Nice. And bow your head forward. We send each one of you wishes for peace, health, and happiness now and always. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste to those near and far. Glad that you all are with us tonight. And give a little bow to one another and a bow to all those on live stream. Oh, namaste, Greg.
Namaste, Shelley.
Have a great night. You know, yeah, if you have any questions, you're welcome. If you have any questions, come on up and ask us. If you need a prayer for a specific thing, it'd be my pleasure to pray with you on the spot. It's casual, but powerful. Yeah. All right. Hand pan.
I'll play us out.
Yes.